Okay, so when we left off yesterday, we had done the first chapter, which gives us our main stats. So now we're going to do the actual adventure. You spend several weeks winging your way across the land. Life as a traveling dragon has much to recommend it. The freedom of the air, the thrill of the hunt, and plentiful sightseeing opportunities. On one particular night, sleeping peacefully under the stars, you awake to find yourself under attack. A gigantic elder dragon towers before you, whipping you hard with its tail. You must be at least he must be at least 4 times your size. Whelp, how dare you sleep on my lands? Apologize, act tough, plead ignorance, fight back, or play nice. Which one should I choose, Damien?
What are the options?
Apologize, act tough, plead ignorance, fight back, or play nice.
Act tough.
Oh, and it didn't mention it earlier. My friend's over for tonight, so I'm gonna be having him choose the decisions. I'm kind of being somewhat of a douche in this playthrough. You kind of played into it. The Elder Dragon treats you with an inviolable disdain. It soundly beats you off of its territory. Find your own lair at Chortles. Despite the advantages, it seems that homelessness has some rather severe downsides. After all, you have nowhere to store your treasure hoard. A few days later, you fly along. You see a large hill rising up from the land around it. Forests cover the lower slopes of the hill, giving way to grassy fields and then a rocky crag at the top of the hill. A large cave mouth opens into the promontory. Again, sorry for butchering words. While you would have to check it out more carefully to be certain, you believe that the hill contains a fairly extensive cave complex. Plenty of game runs through the forest, with herds of sheep and even cattle in some of the valleys, a short flight away. Looking beyond the immediate environs, several human villages and towns are well within a day's flight, offering the promise of easy pillaging to come. But none are close enough to make harassment and annoyance likely. In short, it appears to be a perfect lair. As you fly down to claim your new lair, you spot a group of small, mostly bald, orange-skinned humanoids outside the cave. They look up and point at you in terror and alarm. Some of them flee into the cave, while others bravely shake crude, ineffectual spears at you. Don't eat me, jabbers one of the goblins. Eat Grubbish, he's got more meat on him. The goblin who spoke pushes forward one of the other goblins with the butt of his spear. The other goblin, presumably Grubbish, Grubbish, drops his spear as he shakes in front of you. How cute. What do you do? Damien, do I scare them off or slaughter them all?
Slaughter them.
Don't do that voice.
I'm sorry.
You pounce on them as they flee into the cave. You totally devastate them. By the time they realize that they have no prayer of victory, only 2 of the attackers are left alive. They flee and you enjoy a leisurely afternoon hunt. Roast Goblin makes a pleasant change from your diet of mutton. You return to your new lair, confident that you have taught them a lesson. Well, perhaps them not personally, but certainly the other goblins. Brutality and vigilance increase. Sorry for coughing, guys. The cave complex within the hill is everything you hope for. It's defensible, spacious enough for a good horde, and full of those greasy little goblins who quickly acknowledge you as their eternal sovereign and overlord. They give you the best of their treasure and the finest of their foods. Well, almost the finest. They burn the very best of their foods on a crude altar to their primitive goblin god. How do you react to that? It is good for them to serve their god as best they can. As long as they're loyal to me, I don't care if they worship a unicorn covered with polka dots. Or I should be the focus of all their attention, not some stupid god. What do you say, Damien?
Yeah, you should be the focus.
Yeah, since I'm a douche in this playthrough. How dare they offer sacrifices to a god? Those pieces of meat are rightfully yours. You smash the altar, taking time to scrape your claw directly through the image of the goblin god. The goblin shaman rushes towards you. You go too far, Lizard. The gods will punish. That's as far as he got before you eat him. Problem solved. Some of the goblins begin offering rudimentary prayers to you. The goblins obey your every command, sometimes even anticipating your desires. They may be stupid, crude, and savage minions, but at least they're your stupid, crude, and savage minions. Life is good. A few days later, you hear the sound of squabbling from one of the other chambers. You poke your snout in and see that a rudimentary pit has been arranged, and some of the lowest status goblins are being made to battle for the amusement of the chieftain, now your lieutenant. Now you're, not you are. The fighting is savage, and it is clear that the losers will die. Damien, do I choose? They do not have my permission to waste their lives. This must stop. Or is it well that they should bring, or it is well that they should fight for my amusement. Bring me some refreshments. Or what the goblins do is beneath my notice, as long as they are ready to serve me.
The second one makes you
Yeah.
more of a crappy bastard.
Yeah. The goblins stop fighting when they realize you are present, but you settle in and gesture imperiously for them to continue. The fights make up for their lack of finesse or skill with a certain raw viciousness tinged with desperation. Goblins attend to your every whim as you watch the fights. The losers make a pleasant snack. Brutality increases. You look down from your lair at the lands beyond your mountain. Those green lands are full of humans, and humans have large reserves of livestock and rich treasure. Shouldn't that food and wealth be yours instead? It certainly should, and now. You mean it isn't already? Nothing enlivens a lair like cringing humans carrying tribute.
Sorry.
It certainly should, and now. You mean it isn't already? Nothing enlivens a lair like cringing humans carrying tribute.
Ooh, I like 3.
Yay. How true, how true. Let's be clear. Why you plan on conquering humans? What's most important to you? I need to ensure a steady supply of prey. I need an easy supply of princesses to kidnap. I'm a stickler for tradition. I need heaping great piles of gold and loot to adorn my lair. I want to make humans into my terrified subjects. The more money you have, the better in this game, if I'm correct. So I kind of want to go with the great piles of gold.
Yeah.
Okay. Dragons without hordes are nothing more than scaly failures. You can hear the gold sing to you, and you want more of it. You push off from your rocky spire and glide outwards on the wind. You smell the faint scent of human cooking fires. Where to start?
Stop dying.
Sorry. Okay, Damien.
Indeed.
Conquer the nearby village. Fly directly into a big city and confront the human queen there. Head to the mountain pass used by all the merchants. Send one of my goblin minions to announce my new rule to the queen of the neighboring realm.
Fly straight to the big city and confront the queen.
Okay. It doesn't take long before you are circling over their puny city. It would burn beautifully, and you could smash it into flinders. But it's full of wealth. You can smell the treasure from here. You settle heavily in the main plaza in front of the palace. As you land, your tail idly destroys the ancient statue of some dead king. Yes. Send out your queen, you roar. People flee from the sound of your voice. I demand to talk to her. Send her out, or I'll rip apart the castle piece by piece, and then I'll eat her once I'm done. Now! Someone screams. You see worried courtiers staring at you from around the door in the palace, then hastily ducking back inside. From behind, the sound of a horse distracts you. You smell weapon oil and metal. A vaunt foul beast challenges a human encased in metal armor. He carries a long lance with a pennant flying from it. I am Sir Road God, Knight of. Are you gonna put up with that? Let him finish his speech or eat him now.
Eat him.
You knock him down before he completes his little speech. A claw swipe knocks him sideways off of his horse and sends the mount fleeing in blind terror. The knight rolls and awkwardly tries to get to his feet. As he does, he looks up to see you dangling the remains of the plaza statue over his head. Duck, you suggest, and he does. Then your head snaps down and catches him in your jaw. He struggles half in and half out of your mouth as you decide whether to eat him. Do I eat him or do I allow him to live?
Eat him.
Okay. You bite down hard, swallow, and smile a terrible grin. Mustering whatever dignity she can, the human queen steps outside the doors to her palace. You can smell her fear, and her courtiers beg her not to. But she emerges to meet you with what passes for human courage. You smile a terrible sight. Beast, she asks in a remarkably steady voice, I am Queen Juliet. We have not offended you. What is it that you want with us? What do you do? Eat her or command the queen to surrender her kingdom? I kind of don't want to eat her.
Really?
I mean, with her being alive, they might be more willing to give me stuff.
True.
Okay, so command the queen to surrender her kingdom.
Yep.
How do you want to command the queen? Brutally. Yeah, my brutality is at 86%.
Oh, hey, that will be good for finding a mate.
Yeah, I know. You roar, and the queen staggers backwards. I have defeated your greatest champion without any difficulty. I can destroy you and all that you hold dear at my whim. Surrender your crown and bow before me. I'm willing to let you at least beg for your life and the lives of your family. The queen shudders and then draws a small dagger. It takes you a moment to realize that she is trying to attack you with an ornament. I will never surrender my kingdom to you, beast. You are an ignoble monster worthy of only death. She is surprisingly brave to attack you with no hope of success. She is also surprisingly tasty, as you discover while chewing on her. Never mind, I ate her anyway. After you finish devouring her, you round up the ex-queen's advisors. You kill a few to motivate the rest, and force the survivors to abase themselves before you. As your new slaves cower before you, one of the former queen's advisors shouts out to the terrified populace, "Behold our new master, O great and mighty dragon." I put my name, O great and mighty dragon, Damien.
You're kidding.
I'm not. To defy the dragon is death. Good, they understand the way that things work now. You then gather the most valuable items in the palace for your hoard and fly back to your lair. You won't be able to trust them, of course, but that hardly matters so long as they keep you supplied with food and gold. Brutality and infamy increase. You rule over your territory for several uneventful years before your goblin minions begin to report some disturbing news. They have seen another dragon raiding within your territory, seizing tribute that ought to be yours, and eating your prey. Based on their description, you realize that the dragon is none other than your elder clutchmate. Remember his name, Damien?
Elder Clutchmate. I do not.
Axomaeus.
Excellent.
Axomaeus was always an overbearing brute. You seeking to seize what did not belong to him. You may recall what he did to your golden shield. Yes, no matter what option you choose, he ends up beating you with it, and then hitting you in the face a couple times with it. What do you do about Axomaeus' incursion into your dominance? This is intolerable. Axomaeus must be destroyed. Another dragon on the far reaches of my territory is not worth a response. I'm destroying him. How dare he enter your territory? His effrontery, I don't know what that word is, sorry, leaves you no choice. Vigilance increases. Your rapid response also prevents him from taking some of your tribute. Wealth increases. As your older clutchmate, Axomaeus is a foe worthy of respect. How do you plan to defeat him? Yeah, just head in it. Well, wait for him to come to me. He'll need to eventually, and I'll have the advantage. Set up an ambush for him. Confront him in the air, relying on my superior aerial maneuver skills. Just head in his general direction and beat him into the ground like the curry is. Tricks Alcatomaeus into fighting one of my enemies. Bribe him to leave my territory and never return. I'm beating him.
Yeah,
You have defeated Alcatomaeus. He is still alive, but you have beaten him, and he will be unable to offer serious resistance. What do you do with him now? Axomaeus is too great a set to leave alive, but he is worthy of a quick and painless death. Like a cat playing with a mouse, I will make Axomaeus suffer before he dies. Axomaeus must leave my territory, never to return, but he can live. I'm killing him like a cat.
kill him like an orca whale.
Axomaeus dared to enter your territory, now he will suffer. You chase Axomaeus all over your territory. Whenever he thinks he might have gotten away, you pounce again, inflicting another small wound. He suffers from the increasing number of injuries until he can't even fly or run away. You then spend a while slowly working him over until you tire of him and finally leave him to bleed to death. You are truly a dread and horrible beast. I don't quite know how you can live with what you have done. Brutality and infamy increase greatly, honor declines, and vigilance increases. What is my infamy? 74. Okay, so this is the end of the chapter. I will continue next chapter tomorrow.